whether this 4 and 13 team can go to Worlds.
Yep.
Because if they win the next 2 games, that means they have to then win 3 best-of-5s in the regional qualifier.
And then they're going to Worlds.
And then they would be in Worlds. So much easier said than done, but High and Balls on the other side and Lemonnation have actually done that before.
Yeah.
So we know it's possible.
And we know Ryu has gotten top 4 at the last World Championship. He's got to do it again. Got to find his way to bring a bunch of people in unlikely circumstances and make it all happen. So yes, it's down to this one spot in the Promotion Tournament. Necessitates that spot in the regional qualifier necessitates you win there. FlyQuest needs help from Seal to make sure it happens at the end of the day based on their championship points. But we are in a champion select. Phoenix1 realize they do not want to deal with Moon's Jarvan again. FlyQuest still respecting Xpecial's Thresh.
Yeah, so I think the Jarvan ban is fine in that case. It's not a champion they would want to first pick, especially since red side usually leaves you something pretty juicy to lock in there. You know, Maokai has probably been the most first pick champion on this patch, but that's always because it's just what teams are more okay with giving you.
Right. Doesn't receive bans, yet everyone knows it's powerful.
Exactly, and is a flex pick.
Absolutely
so
the case.
That has more value to pick early.
Very valuable pick here. You can see Talia dropped off the table. Going to remove that one from Ryu. Of course, we know his Corki is still comfortable. More Thresh bans, this time staying on the blue, Tristana bans staying on the blue side. So P1 this time removing it from WildTurtle. We'll wait to be seeing what the last P1 ban will be of this phase. Another Marksman ban with the Caitlyn, so we'll see if Kalista stays up. Interesting to see a blue side Caitlyn ban, though. Either the champion's great and you're willing to first pick it, or you are just afraid of only Turtle playing it. It's not a Ryu special. Free Marksman ban comes through as FlyQuest adds one themselves, and there's that Maokai first pick.
Yeah, somewhat similar to the last game. It's just the teams have swapped sides. We got triple AD carry ban, we got a Maokai first pick, got a Thresh ban, but LeBlanc is up, which was banned last game. And it's a champion both these guys have carried games on, but you got to go all in on LeBlanc if you're going to be playing LeBlanc too.
Well, we're having a lot of 30-minute games, so you don't get outscaled too much, but it is hard to do well with lots of tanks. And speaking of that, Zach brought in, so FlyQuest, again, they banned it on red side in the first game. They're grabbing it here in their first round. In the second one, no, I take that back. That was Phoenix1 banning at red side. I correct myself here on this one. Phoenix1 banned it on the red side. FlyQuest want the champion for themselves. P1 didn't want to play it here. So they grabbed that, plus the Gnar top lane picked. Now, what's interesting is I was casting with Azael yesterday, and I made the thought that you had was that, oh, Gnar feels like it's good into tanks. But Azael was saying that actually Maokai feels good into Gnar because you engage for gank when he's mini Gnar. And in solo queue stats-wise, it's actually a really good matchup for Maokai. It's like a 55% win rate for the Maokai in the head-to-head.
I would say Maokai has a 55% win rate.
Sure.
So I think a lot of things feel good for the Maokai, in my opinion. But I still would think, in your thought that you had with Azael yesterday, that Gnar is going to feel okay if you do have to lane against him. You have outplay potential. You can outrange the Gnar's Twisted Advance unless he flashes on you, especially once you get something like a Frozen Mount. You just kite all day.
Sure.
So Gnar can still do Gnar things, but Maokai doesn't get pushed around by hardly anything.
It doesn't seem to. We'll see what comes into this one. Ryu getting his second straight Corki game in this series. We ordered another FlyQuest top jungle duo, so P1 can figure out what they want to do against these two champions. Do they pick something else against the Gnar? And they do. Zig goes to his signature Kled. They say the Maokai matchup's not good enough. Mike's going to play it. Zig, go pick your favorite champion here. Kled and Gnar should feel good about this.
Yeah, or just the fact that Zig is a really good Kled.
He is a really good Kled.
So definitely going to have some team fight initiation. Kled going in with the Maokai and the Corki. We know where Phoenix1 is going if they get ahead, and it's forward, but it's just a matter of getting ahead. Which has been their problem so far.
See if they can do it. High going back to one of his most played, in fact, by far his most played. 16 games in Orianna. This will be 17 this split. It's actually a good 5 above his next most. Actually 6 now at this point. A lot of games in this champion. He's going to go into the second ban phase now as FlyQuest figure out the fact that both these squads need exactly a bot lane carry and a bot lane support. FlyQuest say Arrow's Kog'Maw is good, even though we did beat it. We want that off the table. We know that the Twitch of Turtle is still available if he wants it.
Yeah, it's in contrast to last game where the Cog was picked very early and they banned away kind of the other lane dominant champions.
Yeah, they got rid of Varus to do that.
I'm really curious actually if they just pick the Twitch right away when they come back, which is what Phoenix1 was scared of them doing. Look at this. That's five
conventional bot lane bans. Yeah. And the Corki, of course, is now more of a mid laner anyway, but they're going to keep going down that pool. And again, Sivir goes up in stock.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking earlier about how many playable AD carries there actually are right now. So these bans, to me, are a little bit perplexing unless you're kind of compartmentalizing your AD carries right now. It's okay, the Caitlyn and the Trist are the turret killers, and the Kalista is the tank killer, strong laner.
Right.
And then you have your 2 hyper carries, and now what, right? Now you have your team fighter and your lane shove, which is Sivir. I think it's now the #1.
I think she's #1 as well, but that would actually make me want to look at maybe something like Braum, but Alistar off the table. Vera still being banned away, Phoenix1 getting rid of some more of the lane-dominant champions. And I wonder if actually, like, if you could play this draft over and over again, where you've locked both sides for the top mid, and you're like, okay, we're going to draft bot lanes together. You each have 2 bans. Like, is the better strategy like pinch support to get the only coin support left available? Like, the only good Ardent Sensor users available. Like, we're going to pinch for Sona or Janna or Climber or something, and I wonder if you play this draft 17 times over, that becomes the evolution. I think they're interesting case studies, right? When you're down to the same lanes at the very end of it all, what do you really pinch for? Either way, it's going to be Jhin grabbed up with 6 marksman bans, Sivir the other side. Again, I think it's a decent Sivir matchup. The spells are telegraphed enough. You can always spell shield 1, and looks like Xpecial maybe picks up Taric to go along. Sivir Taric, one of the oldest amazing synergies back when before they both got reworks. Still very good together.
And I don't even think it's just as much Sivir Taric as it is Sivir, Taric, Maokai, Kled, Corki. Just the whole synergy of the team fighting from Phoenix1 here. They've done this once before, right when Maokai and Shogath became big. It's just a full-on initiation team composition. Everybody goes, they press their buttons, and they fly in, and I think they put it together here. And FlyQuest just now says, whoops, now we need to do disengage right away. And the Janna might be able to do that, since it just depends on how many buttons Phoenix1 has to go in, because the Tornado knocks them back, and the Monsoon knocks them back as well from Janna. So I do like the Janna pick here at the very end for FlyQuest.
As long as they have enough of them. If I get my count right, I believe we have 8 new champions in this draft right here. The Corki and the Maokai coming in from last time. Otherwise, everything else looks a bit different now in this one. And that's without any new support bans. They just wanted to pick different ones based on compositions. This could be the last time these 2 teams meet in this game right here. 1-0 so far for FlyQuest. Hoping to close it out and carry their championship points into the postseason, and hope they can make a run to the regional qualifier here in this one. And if they can win this one, they knock down Phoenix1 to that promotion tournament. We'll see which one it's going to be here as we have the coaches shake hands for maybe one last time. We'll see which of these squads can do better in this game.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, so much on the line in this game. Even though everyone was drawn to TSM CLG, this is the game that has much more immediate implications. Phoenix1, if they win the next 2 games, they're in the regional qualifier. If they lose the next one, they're in the promotion tournament. That's such a difference, and it can all hinge on the next game or 2.
Next game or 2, it's what it's all about, and let's see if Zig on his signature Kled can make that one happen, or my favorite champion Sivir can carry as well. As we go into game 2 here in the Battle Theater, we'll see which squad can make it happen. The reverse sweep for Phoenix1. Can they bring the way back into this? They had a very slow start to the split. They were the 3rd place finisher. I mean, this was our 3rd, 4th place match last split, and it all went pear-shaped for both of these squads. Phoenix1 started out 0-4 in matches. They brought in MikeYeung. Then they brought in Xpecial. They started actually winning some games. They went to Rift Rivals and actually did 2nd best of all the NA teams. Said, okay, you know, Phoenix1, maybe they're the real deal. They had been, I think, 3-1 with this lineup when they went over to Germany. But upon coming back, they won so few games afterwards, though. They went right back downhill and been open to find something to work. Ryu then said he was burned out. They brought Pyrian back in, which was on Phoenix1 last split, or last year, I should say. And now they're hoping they can make something else happen to this one. That road to the postseason is still there if they can just win some games of League of Legends.
And in the early game, what type of sapling stack will MikeYeung set up for Maokai? I think the Raptor start is best on Maokai, but when I've watched MikeYeung play it, he hasn't done that. So he's probably just going to, as you see, throws the first sapling in red buff, do a minor pull from his bot lane and just get red. You can stagger your saplings in the Raptor brush such that you can stack 3, and then you can pull them so they all pop up like individually to clear all the small Raptors right away. But here, he's actually not staggered them as much, so you're going to see 1 run in and then the 2 at the same time. So he's actually losing potential damage when he stacks them like that. And these are small optimizations, right? You only really figure this out and get super comfortable after like 30 or 20 games of Maokai. But the fact that MikeYeung is a prodigy and a new player isn't doing that right, and that's just a pregame setup, makes me think he still hasn't found comfort on the champion.
And this is not like I played one Maokai jungle game, and I did a perfect sapling leash my first try. Like, this isn't hard to do. This isn't, you know, insecting people your first try and lease in. This is just like, oh, I should spread my saplings out and then kite slightly. And it is very strange seeing people not go for the little optimizations, but a few seconds lost in jungle path is not going to be a reason he wins or loses the game. As we see the bot lane continue to trade back and forth, and Xpecial taking a big chunk from that forced shot out of WildTurtle.
Yeah, and you got to be a little careful as and against Taric at level 1 because his Dazzle does 100 damage at rank 1.
Yeah.
But if you miss it, 0 damage. And
Yes.
you're now really close to the opponent, and they can trade back on you aggressively. So Xpecial missed that first Dazzle. WildTurtle and Lemonnation traded back hard, and they got pushed in.
Level 2 on both these squads, and similar CS for both these players as well. Xpecial is actually going for a coin start on the Taric, which has been much more common recently for the champion. The wind speakers as well is a bit to be expected.
Yeah, and we talked a lot last week about how much more gold coin gives you than other options like the Relic Shield, but you also have to keep in mind the stats of the coin are not combat efficient. You're getting
5 CDR.
yeah, and gold.
Yep.
Whereas if you're starting with Relic Shields, you have health. If you're starting with Spellthief's Edge, you get a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra AP. So when you don't see supports go coin, they're just less greedy, right?
Right.
They're going to be stronger in lane. And if you dominate the lane, it can still be worth it in the other way. But if you don't think you're going to be able to beat a coin user,
In
you
lane.
just join the club. You buy a coin yourself and then you
Right.
trade.
I mean, it's the item version of running gold generation quints. It's like, if you're not going to win the lane, like, you can just do that. I forget who it was, but someone tweeted a picture of their rune page, which was, it was titled Janna, and it was gold generation seals and quints, and some AP glyphs and marks. It's like, I'm just going to sit here in AFK and give you shields. I don't think it's optimal by any means at all.
Oh, man.
But it is the troll way to get your fastest Ardent Sensor.
Yeah, I actually like as far as like a scaling rune page, so to speak, in lane where you're going to be greedy. Would be armor reds because you don't want to die, and then either health or armor per level yellows, flat AP quints because let's be honest, those don't equalize with other AP until like level 11, and that's what you're doing as a support. And then maybe AP per level blues. If you want to be super greedy as an AP support, that would be my suggestion.
Here comes the gank on Ryu. Does get away, but he could be jumped in. Nope, flashed away and breaks the tether on the stretching strikes. Moon didn't attack the minion quite in time to get the extra little bit of this one, but now the engage towards Moon flashed them over the wall, so MikeYeung's a little bit in danger, but Ryu, a lot of mana to chase through, but still a flash forced out. Moon's gonna lose one, so will Ryu.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Summoner heal. Wow, he was afraid of getting jumped on there.
it's a lot of respect given there by Moon. Ryu doesn't do that much damage with just the Doran Shield, but I guess did want to not have anything go pear-shaped in the early game.
Otherwise, a fairly close game, but 500 right now up for FlyQuest. Feels good for them so far as they've got leads in every single one of these lanes. First Rico comes in. Ryu this time going Sheen as he can afford it. Phage would cost him another 400 gold, so that's not an easy one to grab. I'm going to have a little bit of burst damage as High gets the best first recoil you can really get for a mage and gets that lost chapter. He's pretty happy about this setup, and he can push with impunity as a result. Waiting to see the first TP to the top laners.
It's actually perfect. Lost chapter, refillable, control word.
Yeah.
If you can hit that, you're golden. That's time to go back as long as you're not freezing the wave on yourself or something versus just the Sheen. So more efficient health potions for High. Should be able to out-push Ryu as well with all the extra mana he gets from the Lost Chapter.
Yeah, definitely going to beat out what Ryu gets from his mana, and the CDR not going to mean a ton either. Moon level 5. Same for MikeYeung, waiting for a play. Not going to find one just yet. Blue buff will not spawn for at least another minute in time. I believe both these squads knew what the jungle start was based on the movements of the various laners, so they should have decent internal timers of the buff respawns as well. Earlier on, FlyQuest had actually warded the blue buff and knew when roughly when it had died. A bit later on to the jungle pass, so a rough timer is available there. MikeYeung clearing his wolves, and Krug's going down for Moon. Just have to make sure he's safe, and yeah, no problems for him.
Yeah, and we do have actually different team comp systems. When compared to what we had game 1, where we had these hyperscalers in the bottom lane and then both teams trying to mash up front lines. The Kled is a diver, much more than a tank. The Gnar as well is a very timely team fighter, but not what you'd consider a huge frontliner. And then the Sivir Taric is just so much about brawling in team fights, whereas the Jhin Janna is kind of about getting and avoiding picks. You can still obviously snowball with either one of these if you get a big enough gold lead, but if Phoenix1 has gold parity in the mid game and is able to just force these 5v5s, they're going to be in a much more favorable position than they were last game.
Here comes the engage on. They're going to bring MikeYeung in as well. Ball's not going to be Gnar for a while. He's going to jump right back in and pulls him with a bear trap. Perfectly played here by Zig. The kill comes in. That could not have been better. Not even a summoner spell used to get that kill in the top lane.
Perfect bear trap on a rope right there as Gnar was hopping over creep. I don't even know how he got that one. It was perfectly placed.
EQ, E number 2.
Yeah, and then MikeYeung didn't have to flash because he had the Kled ultimate to fly in with. Just exactly what you want with Maokai Kled.
Really it was. Moon making the best of a bad situation. He knows MikeYeung spawned top, and he knew the jungle start as well, so he gets to seal away a red buff, but at the end of the world, Zig going to be facing a small freeze, and Balls almost got to cancel the recall, but didn't quite do so. So Zig is going to get back to lane, no problem. Moon getting this red buff steal without much of an issue, smites it away, gets out. But this is P1 now actually tying up the gold as a result of that kill. And they're stopping that hemorrhage of gold.
Yeah, watch this one more time. Ball's not close to Gnar. Charges him and bear traps immediately. Yeah, and then he's just able to follow with his E as Gnar tries to hop away. Kled Master knows exactly when to get that off.
There's something really cute too, is you saw Zig walk back towards the brush to start the speed zone closer to the Maokai. Like, he actually cheated towards his own brush, towards MikeYeung, to make sure he could reach sooner. Which then becomes the whole, like, lantern bait of, oh, he's running towards the brush. Is there a jungler here? Is he ulting for it? Cute things, fighting the bot lane.
We got level 6 on the Sivir Taric, and MikeYeung was putting himself in position to dive, but they decided to call it off.
Smart by Lemon. Manages to freeze the wave the arrow pushed in. It looks like it was FlyQuest went for the recall first, and now he's a battle in the mid lane. Shockup comes in, and more damage dealt to Ryu as High shields the rest of the damage back.
Yeah, High played a lot of Ori earlier on in the split. It seemed like every time was up, he was locking it in. He was having good Ori games, but the team just wasn't winning. So a lot of times when that happens, you just kind of slowly move away from a champion since losses are so hard to shake. But I like the fact that he's back on it. I think there's a lot of reasons FlyQuest wasn't necessarily winning, and I don't think it had to do with High's Orianna. So because he's so good at the champion, especially in a must-win game like this one, I like seeing him pull it out.
Nice little storm there onto the Janna, and the shield's coming, healed coming from Xpecial as well, but equal trade overall. Feels good to bounce shots around the entire wave like that, get all the gold, but another attempted gank, but Moon, telegraphed enough that Ryu is totally safe. Valkyrie's away.
Yeah, able to reactively Valk that Zac gank. That is one of Zac's greatest strengths. Many junglers nowadays struggle to gank around mid lane because there are so many wards in the river and there's constant control ward battles in the side brush, but Zac doesn't even generally need to engage in those games in order to gank mid. He can come sometimes from Raptor Pit if he's has the lane pushed up enough, but even before going into river, he can leap in. But if you have Corki and you save your Valkyrie and you have good reaction time, you can get away.
Balls spots this one, but is there going to be a play to be had? He's going to step back, press the R. Here goes MikeYeung in a range, and again, he is not Gnar. There's no way in. Zig playing it nicely. Second kill in the top lane here is FlyQuest going to get their response kill of the Mountain Drake. Now a fight in the mid lane. Nice wave clear. Clears them all out and does a lot of damage to Ryu, but he stays alive. As we are on this one, FlyQuest 1-0. And again, the stakes are a spot in the promotion tournament versus a spot potentially in the regional qualifier for Worlds. As Moon tries to keep Ryu out of the wave, as High shoves it in.
Yeah, MikeYeung really trying to help out Zig in that top lane. 2 successful ganks with that great chain of CC, but the rest of the map is losing, which is keeping this game really close. Moon spent a lot of time in the mid lane, even without getting successful ganks, is keeping Ryu back, but this will be first turret, most likely going to the top side.
Yeah, they are. Nicely done. So this point of pressure working out Zig and MikeYeung in sequence, finding an opening for the squad. The bot lane down a bit of CS, but holding closely enough that it's a point of power they can use later on. 1,500 gold up.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this gank. Not too different from the first one. Lands bear trap on a rope, but right here is where I thought maybe Balls would try and flash away. Decides it's not worth it. MikeYeung would have followed flash, and then he'd be even more vulnerable for the next gank. So everyone saves summer spells. Balls falls again. It's
so hard to flash away from a Kled because as long as he aims it properly, he'll just follow the flash at 800 move speed, and it's like, all right, you gained half a second, but we're under turret anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm actually more impressed with Balls to know he shouldn't flash because he's no way going to live through that. Nice juke by Turtle, gets away from it. The early Swifties rush, I gotta say, is part of the reason he's doing a bit better there. As he's against the no boots Taric, he can dodge those angles.
Yeah, the Taric stun is really hard to land. Near impossible against someone who's faster than you.
Yeah.
Just to be able to sidestep, it's an incredibly telegraphed ability. And I think that's probably why he went Boots of Swiftness. It is a thing you do on Jhin since he doesn't benefit early on from Berserker's Greaves as much as other AD carries would.
Right.
But has that added benefit of dodging Taric stuns as well.
Yeah, feel pretty good about this one, and we needed to move on in this game. This gold lead still is 1,500 apart as Arrow clears away the wave, and he just hits at -9, but BF Sword plus a Cole stacking, not too bad. High continuing on his quest for the mid lane here. And we'll see if Moon can make this safe, and looks like it's going to be fine as Lemonnation shows up, and the damage simply will be there. Lemon takes the turret shot, gets the last hit of the turret. That's going to be in the scoreboard at the end of the game. Lemonnation getting the first turret kill for the squad, but obviously a lot of High and Moon's hard work to make that happen.
Trying to get that money on Janna as well, getting some shared turret gold. Wondering when Kled is going to arrive with the rest of the team. They have a Ninja Tabi, Cinderhawk Maokai, and a Black Cleaver Kled. Those are huge power spikes to try and play around. It's just a matter of where they try and press that Sivir ult plus Kled ult plus Taric ult super initiation.
See when it comes through if they can make the openings happen. Gold lead down to 800 as a result of the mid lane turret falling. Perhaps again too high for making that one go through. No Triforce yet for Ryu, but that might be okay later on. The Youmuu's done though for Turtle, and we continue to see the Youmuu seems to be the more popular first item in pro play. We saw Froggen play Talon yesterday, and he was a Youmuu's Rush, I believe, in that game as well. So I've seen lots of internet comments still complaining about Duskblade, but the pros seem to still like Youmuu's more, so I don't know, they do value the move speed. Yeah. Move speed certainly is a pro stat.
I agree. Move speed is a pro strat. Oh, here we go.
Ooh, he's going to get interrupted, I believe, by the Kled ulti, but Let's Rout's going to bring him back over the Drake wall, and then he flashes back over into the team. Moon, that was not the best flash, and he will definitely die. No reason for balls to TP. Maybe a bit of a flub right there, and as Flubber himself, it's not a big surprise. It was almost so sick, though.
I mean, maybe if you kidnap everyone, you can flash back over the wall.
Yeah, but he didn't get them all.
But if you get half the people, don't flash back to the other half that you left there. Just flash away towards your teammates. Nearly an escape. He got baited really hard there. Didn't expect to have Zig down in the bottom. And you're kind of wondering how Zig going to leave the laning phase. Well, he's just going to randomly run into the enemy jungle while the Gnar is top lane.
They think Ryu's alone.
Yeah. But jumping into a control ward, unwise. Ryu and Arrow still there, and Xpecial.
And he should know Ryu's there, so that is, you know, a little unlucky or kind of his fault, but it happens.
He tried.
He tried, and that's always cool. I like style points, but you know, they got a game to spare. He's going to go for the style plays in the meantime, and then he'll try again in game 3, don't worry.
Yeah, something we didn't point out as well is FlyQuest sticking with the heal support. They had heal barrier last time. They have heal cleanse this game. Probably just looking to cleanse a Taric stun or a Maokai CC or a bear trap on a rope somewhere, but not that much cleansable stuff. I kind of would have liked to see barrier if they're going to be doing the double defensive, but cleanse does have its own uses. Yeah,
it's not Ashe Zyra. That's like a cleanse or die kind of situation, but we can go for that one. Couple attacks towards Arrow. Heals back up, not a big problem. Quick check on Xpecial's leveling priority. 2 points Q, then he's maxing Dazzle right away. You definitely want more than 1 in Q at least. But he's stopping with 2 actually here.
Right. This is my preferred skill order. 2 or 3 Q into max E, into max W last. Just looking at the way the scalings work on Taric. When Taric was changed a few patches back, he gains 1 stack of his heal, so to speak, every time he auto attacks. And depending on your rank of Q is how many stacks you can hold at once.
1 stack per rank, yeah.
And when you heal, you expend all.
Yeah.
But what you end up doing is you're healing mid-team fight a lot on Taric because you get attack speed every time you cast a spell and you kind of like bop bop.
Yeah.
So that's why 2 ranks is the sweet spot, really. Because you use your heal, bop bop, you use it again.
Yeah.
And at that point, a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th rank in Q isn't going to give you more charges and is only going to increase your mana cost. So 2 is the sweet spot.
I don't even know if it increased mana cost or not. I'm not
the mana
sure.
cost goes up with rank.
It does, okay.
Yeah,
so yeah,
which actually murders you if you go max Q first.
Right, because they don't want you to spam Qs every 5 seconds. They want you to actually play around the stacks properly. Hey, you're right. Okay, that makes sense here. And this one is Ryu goes back and forth and make sure that he's going to stay alive in this mid lane as his Triforce is now done, but he's suffering about 19 minion deficit here under High. You can come back with that without too many issues, but the gold is basically tied now as FlyQuest have gone up 1 turret and they're still up this farm. They have 300 gold despite the 3 kills of Phoenix1. Again, props mostly to the mid and bot lane for doing so, but even in the top lane actually, Balls is up 20 against Zig as Zig had run to the bot lane, and Balls got a lot of free time up there.
Yeah, being able to keep up in CS, he's gone for a Black Cleaver first, not a Frozen Mallet. Probably just wants to have the damage in the 1v1 since he's not able to kite out a Kled the same way he would a different type of matchup. Phoenix1 also just kind of running down towards the Drake. Would love to see FlyQuest run at them, but they'll take the free Ocean Drake as well.
And it will go down. means about infinite mana for the Taric. Never a bad thing for him. Can certainly run out if you're not playing it quite perfectly. Otherwise, we'll see what else comes next. Is actually with Arrow going Essence Weaver, he could also have mana problems later on in the game. So Infinity Edge Rush is certainly a higher damage build. He can carry teamfights harder with this. And will have to be a bit smarter about his mana consumption. The Ocean Drake helps soften that blow. Moon puts a ward down that spots Ryu. I believe he saw it go down, so they know Moon's in there. But a fight still coming in for this Drake. Gonna look for Arrow. Gonna be a flash out from Xpecial. Wants to flash instead of ulting preemptively. Here comes the dive, though. P1 wants in, puts the ulti across. Looking for the play. TP coming in, though, for Balls. Zig not yet joining the fray. He's gonna be coming in soon from the ulti from the bot lane. Now ulting across. Lemonnation buying some time. So being attacked by Arrow. The first kill comes through for Balls onto Xpecial. 4v4 continues. A shockwave on a two. The flash doesn't get him out of the range, but now the jump in from MikeYeung says to buy some time. Dismounting now as Balls chases onto Zig, and Zig just gonna jump the wall, barely getting away with that one. An Arrow gonna kill now onto high. Balls staying alive, about to transform into Gnar. Already has the transform, gets the slam into the wall, gets the kill picked up as well, and FlyQuest making that one +1 in the team fight.
And that is a much better result than you may have thought at the start of it. They were very good at responding to Phoenix 1's dog pile down there. Zig was a little late coming in, and I think that really hurt the dive overall for Phoenix 1. And Ryu took much longer than he wanted to finish off WildTurtle, which then made them dive under the turret without all of their damage. Very close fight there, but FlyQuest stays alive.
Nice little chunk on the balls. We're just kind of playing for wave clear right now and healing up with the, I believe, red buff he's holding on to. And we kind of reset on this one. FlyQuest holding on to that 500 gold lead as P1 going to reset and lick their wounds off of a not quite one team fight.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of stuff like this where Phoenix 1 is trying to force hard on FlyQuest, and FlyQuest is just trying to return some kills. So they use, and they got WildTurtle a half right here. Ryu and MikeYeung start up. They ult in with Sivir, but they don't have anyone to tank the turret. So they have to burn their Taric ult pretty much just for the turret right there, and they get no one under the turret immediately. Xpecial then dies right at the start of the fight pretty much, and a great shockwave by High there that MikeYeung is unsuccessful in flashing makes this fight a lot longer. So Ryu does come in and finish off High at the end, but not before a bunch of damage lands on him, and Balls actually kills Zig
with
from
the
over the wall with the Gnar ult. Yes,
wow.
That ult does throw you into terrain, doesn't mean it can't go through terrain.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Gnar ult kill like that.
Someone over a wall.
Yeah,
I don't either. That's funny.
That's clutch.
And Zig was almost so clutch in getting away too. He pocket pistoled over the wall, he stayed alive. He's like hoping maybe I can like mount back up, because with the bonus attack range, he's actually hitting people over the wall himself and building up like his courage again, but
yeah, and I know what he's thinking, right? Oh, Gnar's on the other side of the wall. I'm safe.
Punch, punch, punch. Oh, crud.
Oh, no.
Unlucky. His first death of the game. Zig had otherwise been a pretty solid performer in this one for Phoenix 1, but now on the back foot, down 600 gold. P1 hoping to stay alive in this series and alive in the North American LCS road towards Worlds. Ward comes in, 30 gold to Xpecial. Denies it from Arrow, scumbag. Is going to look for more pressure on this bot lane right here, P1.
Yeah.
Definitely first in the play. This is going to be a 4v0 for the turret.
I mean, at the very least, they just want to take the turret. They haven't gotten rid of the wards in here, though, so Zig totally spotted. I mean, Balls is just going to happily waddle down the lane and get that shove going. Don't let him recall either. Good stop.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a dead turret. But yeah, Balls about to knock down top lane tier 2, and Balls is TP-less, so Zig could reasonably join and then like find himself in a team fight later on. And in fact, now a wave roll coming across, looking to start this one out, but this is still dangerous. Ryu's going to face off against Balls in the top lane, so it is a bit of a 4v4. But also high spotted in mid means he's not part of this fight. And P1 should know this is a 4v3, and one that they might even want to look at fighting. Yeah,
cheeky hold there by FlyQuest, though. Janna shield cycles twice. You can still shield turrets for some reason, so they are not able to kill that one.
Ryu now getting shunked down pretty nicely by Balls, who got a lot of damage in that turret, and the boomerang gets some pressure here as well, but now forced back. Forced to regen off of that red buff as Ryu does keep the turret alive just enough, as High will shove in yet another mid lane wave, but Zig can catch that.
Yeah, so
the engage comes in, they find the stun. The nasty from the cleanse keeping him alive a little bit longer, as he's still going to run away for this one. A couple more shots to do it, and Arrow gets the crit at the back end of it all. Civility for the move speed makes it in, and Turtle is in a 1v3 there.
It's a head scratcher because they had just held so well, were unable to just give up what they should have.
Looks like it was a bait because FlyQuest were trying to 3-man the Baron right there. You saw them part of that fight. And Turtle was like, yeah, look at me, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, but sadly it was still enough, and the wish was granted the kill.
They did have the Mountain Drake, but Phoenix 1 able to scout it out. That's tough. That could have been a genius play. But most people are just going to say, Turtle, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tricky. Good catch by Phoenix1, but that could have been really nice for FlyQuest.
Yeah, that wasn't much of WildTurtle's a hot shot GG. It's die, so your team's gonna Baron or something else somewhere else. Although if we ever watch Return of the Legends, hot shot GG is just going 0-3 and losing, so maybe not so much that anymore. Maybe not your inspiration. Shoutouts to that tournament. They got 2-0'd by China yesterday. But we're about this match right now as P1 takes on FlyQuest. But with that couple of kills, I mean, Phoenix1 clawing back into this one. They've got all 3 outer turrets down now. They've gotten that extra kill on a WildTurtle, and they're sitting at this 1.3K lead. They can definitely tie up the series.
Yeah, and I like the way they can fly into teamfights still. They're building up items on Sivir. That's an amazing team fighter. The Maokai as well, getting to that point. Normally you go Righteous Glory on Maokai. I think that's going to be MikeYeung's next item, but he doesn't even need it if he's following in Kled. Zig's going to find a minion wave with Ocean Drake coming up. That hurts a little bit, not having it.
Yeah, he wanted a solo Turtle, but of course Turtle guessed which way to run to not die, and yeah, maybe a bit not worth the risk. Ball's TP is back available, and he's very close to knocking this turret down. No one is defending, so P1 going to try to rush this Drake before Ball shows up. Yeah,
they still have Sivir ult to fight if they want.
They're going to try. Ball's, again, not part of the fight just yet, but they don't have the ulti available for the Kled, so the way in is not easy. Top lane 2-2 falls, and P1 wastes the opportunity to go for the mid lane now, as the inhibitor now actually under attack, and the Drake's not even going to go down.
Yeah, FlyQuest playing the split push game, while P1 is trying to play the team fight game, and the disengage successful for FlyQuest. Good split push right there. Gifts them over the Ocean Drake.
Pretty much perfect execution by FlyQuest to knock the turret down. They were able to disengage the Sivir ulti, and then they even get the Drake for themselves as Balls backs off to not be caught out by Zig. Couldn't have gone better. And FlyQuest now much closer in gold and tied up in Ocean Drakes.
Yeah, I think Zig needs to save his ultimate for team fights because the Janna and the Ori is enough move speed to get away from the Sivir ulti, but I do not think it's enough move speed to get away from the Kled ult. So if they can sync that up, I think that split push game becomes much more dangerous for FlyQuest.
That's the case. 8% bonus move speed if you run toward Lemonnation with his support quest done. And of course, it's been long completed. Plus, I think it's 5% from a Janna passive it is now. Means you're getting 13 move speed when running toward a Janna. That is a lot. 13%, which means more like 40 or something. They're going to look for this play here into this one as the Baron's going to be rushed down by Phoenix1, hoping to make it happen. The opposing team not nearby. Neither the Zac nor the Orianna are in range, but they're afraid of the TP coming in, and Ball is going to be in the middle of the team fight.
Oh, no.
But he's not going to survive the encounter. He's not going to be Gnar in time, and he completes the TP into a 1v5. That was too early. And now P1 on a 5v4. Zig has ulti right now. He's going to go for it.
Watch the angle.
And he's going to find that moves in a tank form, then jump right back out. That's actually pretty nice. And Ashoka's going to pull in the Maokai, but MikeYeung's still going to stay alive. Sivir ulti down a few more seconds. That's the cost of not going Essence Reaver here in this one. Went for the higher damage, but no ulti yet. A few more seconds and it's back up, but P1 not going to find more, just the one kill.
Yeah, and a sacrificial TP from Balls. It's almost one you would want to cancel, but if he didn't, then maybe Phoenix1 is able to finish off the Baron, and you can't make it into the team fight in time. Basically, FlyQuest just behind on the play, much like WildTurtle sacrificed himself for a Baron sneak.
This vision's dark.
Sacrificed himself for a Baron deny, but as you mentioned, it's still dark. Phoenix1 could look for another fight, but they're low on cooldowns.
Not just yet. So, one ulti down, they decide to wait it out, get the recalls coming through, and Zig still has TP up, so he's going to walk to the bot lane, catch a pretty nice-sized wave, I believe. FlyQuest, though, get the time to knock down some wards and get control back in this Baron pit.
Yeah, and even though they're a split-pushing team, they don't actually kill Baron very quickly. So watch this, Baron's at 4,600, and Ori and Zac still aren't there. So if Balls cancels that, they just turn and finish the Baron. Most likely.
Yeah.
Or Moon would have had a chance to steal.
It's a tough call. It's a very tough call. And then Fog.
Yeah, really interesting how the Kled
actually went that way
above when his
marker
was below.
Haven't seen that either.
Zig just keeps doing Kled stuff that we don't understand, Phreak.
Yep. Who knows? The clever man building up for his Gargoyle Stone Plate here himself as his Titanic Hydra is done. So Zig's going to be a nice, solid, tanky team fighter. 3-1-2, certainly has been doing pretty well for himself. Waiting for P1 to keep continuing on. Arrow finishes a mortal reminder for himself. I think you saw the music video, was a reminder the item was great. Wasn't an intentional pun. But he's going to cut the healing reduction off of the, you know, there's a Janna with Wind Speakers and Summoner Heal. There's a Zac who's going to heal himself a lot as well. So certainly seems smart. And as WildTurtle also going for some date busting down with his last Whisper.
Yeah, but the Ardent Sensor on Taric, I think, is a lot better than the Ardent Sensor on Janna right now. Because the number of auto-attackers on Phoenix1 is higher, and also he can apply it to everyone much more easily. So Phoenix1's Baron is remarkable with Taric and Ardent Sensor. We talked earlier about how 2 points in Q is the sweet spot because he's constantly refreshing his Q every time he gets 2 autos off. You do the same thing with Baron on Taric, but you're also applying Ardent Sensor to your whole team. So, really want to see that happen this game.
Here comes the play. How fast are they? Kled's going to get in, and the Satchel Plant's not going to stop him. And here comes the play on this one. He's in the front line. Zack comes in, look for the big play. It's going to kidnap one, but the Taric is going to keep the front line alive. Gnar does 0 damage, and Lemonnation going to stay alive, shielding himself. The fight continues out. Shockwave only onto Zig. Dismounts, runs away. MikeYeung at half HP, and both health bars dropped a bit low, and now the re-engage. Maybe WildTurtle wants in. Someone's got to take these shots, and Xpecial going to dip, dodge, duck, and dive, and Zig now very low on health, and it's almost going to reach him as Moon, and now going to go for the play. The shield's coming across. Just barely the backline stays alive, but MikeYeung 1 shot away from death, and WildTurtle picks it up, cleanses away, and now looks for the next prey to have. As Ball's waiting for the play as well. High gets a shot in. Not going to kill off Ryu, though. 1 for 0, though, in favor of FlyQuest.
FlyQuest are disengaged machines this game. Phoenix1 throwing everything at them. Still unable to pick up that kill, and then because WildTurtle is true with his ultimate shots, they get them low enough that they try for the re-engage, and they're going back for more.
Gonna look for it. It's a 4v5 right now as MikeYeung is, dead, but of course Zig was full HP, maybe could find the play, but not gonna have that here. No ults available for Phoenix1. FlyQuest in a similar boat, but Shockwave up in about 5 seconds, and High could surprise someone with that. It's gonna be the reset, though. Looks like several recalls coming through.
Yeah, big wave bottom as well. Need to reset this game. If Phoenix1 has control wards in their inventory as well, so they can get control of the Baron area right now if they want to. Watch this again. Zig does follow the arrows this time, all the way into the Gnar, gets this done, but I also like the Gnar ultimate from Balls here. Yes, they're invulnerable. That doesn't mean they're invulnerable to CC. The stun kind of stuffs the engage. Shockwave then dismounts Zig and pushes them into retreat mode. Good timing on the open from the Jhin as well. Let's keep him low. Let's get him low. 4th shot hitting Zig is pretty big. That's basically what pushed Moon over the top as far as wanting to go back in. CC onto Mike, and they get the kill. But now we're back into the Baron dance.
Died despite the courage of Colossus. Lock it back available, though.
Gnar, does he try and go?
Disengage. Moon's going to look for the play. Can he find the other slap? The range was reduced, and he couldn't find the second auto attack, so there's the nerfs at work. That would have been a slap if it was in 7-13. Maybe it would have been a bigger fight, but it's not going to be the case here as the disengage comes through and Lemonnation again keeps the team pretty fast. Here comes the ulti across. Gonna look for balls. Just mini Gnar though, so this could be a lot of damage. They're going to find the stun. They could get the kill on the balls, but here comes Zack. He's going to try to get the kidnap coming across. As Balls kites away, stays alive. Here's the big Taric to keep him alive. The kidnap comes across, and look at the 2 low health bars in P1. Zig and Xpecial both a bit injured, but Turtle getting shut down by Ryu, who gets the chase in and finds his target. And one of the 2 damage dealers is now gone in P1 in a better spot.
Yeah, there you got to see the rage bar management work against FlyQuest. I think engaging on the mini Gnar was just the right choice for Phoenix1, and they finally found something. Now they're going to try to find more while they're pressuring Baron.
But the distance buys a lot of space right there. Slows up the Maokai. MikeYeung could not get in. No slows to be had, but that was a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, and here's where I want to see them force Baron, because with Ardent Sensor Taric, your team not only kills Baron fast, but stays at full health while doing this. Let's watch this at work. Just hit, heal, hit, and everyone should be getting that Ardent Sensor buff. But here we go, Balls teleporting in, they want to fight.
The wings are going to stay on Baron right now. Moon does have Smite available, though, 4th on health bars. And look how much Ryu's been chunked out by Balls, harassing back and forth. Gnar's coming up very soon, does have ulti. He's transformed, they got to watch out for this one. Moon doesn't land the Q, though. No stretching strike just yet, and Zig going to get pulled right back towards the wall. He's got no way out, and the kill does come in. Moon getting the kill credit into that one as Ryu going to force to run, grab his blue buff, and you can't recall there. There's a Gnar coming for you, and he greeted for a recall for a second and has to lose his flash the result.
And this could mean that FlyQuest try and turn on Baron. They have the Ocean Drake, but remember, they do not kill it very fast. WildTurtle just ran bot to try and get rid of that mini wave, but they're going for a control wardless Baron right now.
They're on vision.
No sweeps, no control wards in their inventory, so completely seen. Phoenix1 can come in to fight.
Ryu wants to join. He's got the pack. He'll get there pretty quickly, but the Baron's going to die too fast. Smite comes through for Moon. Will the 4v4 even continue? Actually, it's 4v5. Keep in mind, as FlyQuest have the whole team around. A nice knockback there with a shockwave, but the ricochets doing plenty of damage. That's 180 on the tank. It does more to the rest of the team.
Eyes out of mana. Can he run fast enough?
In the righteous glory, he was out of vision to get the moose feet, so Ryu wants in, but there's no engage to be had. Not going to land the ulti shots, and Fly got to run away and stay alive.
Lemmonnation's Janna. You go faster towards the Janna because of the upgrade, and the heal sped him up. We'll have to check what that pause is for, because FlyQuest just now getting that Baron.
That's a big deal here, and actually, despite the Baron being picked up, FlyQuest actually were still even down in gold as a result, so it was certainly really close here on this one. And yeah, wait to see what it actually is. Looks like Moon's kind of out of his seat. They're looking around. Everyone's kind of looking towards Turtle, so that seems to maybe be the source of the attention. We'll hear from that soon enough, but wow, what a interesting game we've had so far. And I'm, in my mind, like a little bit shocked as well that like the team with Jhin is able to win some team fights. They're actually still down in kills, but the fact that like once the roll wears off, the rest of P1 goes, okay, we'll back out here, and then that secondary re-engage has been so good for FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest is kiting so hard. That's pretty much what it is. It's the Janna, the Ori, and then everyone else backing away, and even Gnar ulting defensively onto the P1 frontline that's trying to dive in. It just doesn't seem like Phoenix1 can get a clean pick, right? They're not getting a Taric stun onto someone who's been initiated with from Maokai, and somehow FlyQuest is kind of keeping away from it all. I give a lot of credit to Lemonnation. I give a lot of credit to High. And then Turtle at the end of the day coming in with the ultimates to re-engage.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Update on the pause. High needed a tissue for his nose. That's not a normal reason for a pause, but it's the one he's got here for this one. And you see we skipped over it. We don't like to show biological functions on camera.
I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah, it would be a little weird. I mean, he's got
especially
a Zac
when
on
you phrase it like that.
Yeah, fair. I mean, they've already got a Zac on his team, so you've kind of seen this already, you know, the bright green blobs. But I'm going to keep describing blowing your nose, apparently. This is
you don't know what he needed the tissue for. Could have bloody nose.
I can literally see him right here. He was blowing his nose, and now he's almost ready to go.
It's a mystery.
You're right, Jatt. It's a mystery. We will never know.
Check the tapes. It's not on the tape.
Fair point.
So,
yeah, can never prove it. But I'm hearing High talk again. He actually talks so loudly I can hear him over my headphones. They're not as noise canceling as like the player's headphones, but when there's no sound in the background at all, I can actually hear him over the ear cups. I don't know what words he's saying. I just hear that High is talking.
Yeah, he is really loud, and that's one nice thing about watching in the theater here instead of the arena is when you are in the audience, the louder players, you can hear them.
You just hear their shot calls.
Very clearly, exactly. Yeah. Getting to kind of see how the teams work is fun to come to the arena rather than, come to the theater rather than the arena sometimes.
It's always fun because when I set up for the interview, very often for whatever reason, FlyQuest ends up being on the red team, and I just like start hearing High shot call the last 10 minutes of the game as I'm like waiting to interview whoever wins it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how High calls things. And he'll like, ooh, he was late on that call. The team was already roaming in time or whatever. So we gotta watch that Baron fight again. And it went pretty nicely for FlyQuest.
Yeah. And I don't feel like Xpecial was doing the Ardent Sensor Taric right. If he just sits in the pit and keeps spamming the heals with the auto attack, the team would be much healthier in here. Either way, they then split up during their disengage. And they kind of bounce zig around with that Gnar ultimate.
Yeah.
But they ultimately get the
this recall. It's like, oops.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that.
Then he's still okay because Taric stuns 2 and he flashes away.
Yeah. It was all a bait. But now Baron buff on FlyQuest. They're going to tie this game up in gold right here and then swing ahead with his turret going down. And with a 2-0, they have a shot at the postseason. They shot at the regional qualifier for Worlds, as so many of these players have done just a couple years ago.
Exactly. To be completely clear, this match decides the 8th and the 9th seeds. So no playoffs for them. The loser goes to the promotion tournament. The winner is safe from the promotion tournament. If the winner is Phoenix1, they're going to have enough championship points to be in the regional qualifier.
Yes.
If the winner is FlyQuest, they need some help, but still have a chance to make the regional qualifier based on how the playoffs shake out.
The case, we'll see if that comes through as the siege continues. Moon wants in, is going to be just knocking the team away with his fearsomeness. They know it's the might of Bangi right there, that Zac, and out they go.
Such a tense game.
Actually, I think it's blank. I think Bangi's Olaf.
For Zac?
Yeah.
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 It's blank.
Yeah. Darn it. Got my SKT junglers wrong.
Do you even watch SKT?
I may have cast them a few times. I'm not sure. I apologize to LCK fans for getting the name wrong initially. Got it right the second time I tried. There are only 2 options. Look at the next knockdown mid lane tier 2 turret gonna fall, and that's 6 turrets already now killed off. Top lane as a result of balls earlier on in the game, and now the Baron getting the rest of them.
Yeah, and for Phoenix1, they have one way to play this team composition. They throw everyone at the opponent, but Lemmonnation's Janna has disengaged so well, and maybe they just want to get more crit items on Ryu and Arrow. Looks like he's going for the Essence Reaver Bliss build on Sivir.
Yeah, if you're going to start IE, I think you actually... What everyone's doing is not buying the other damage item. I'm actually not sure if it's mathematically correct, because you get free attack speed from your W, and your Q doesn't have any attack speed scaling anyway. It actually potentially is better to have raw AD, but it's not that important regardless in this game. Rapid Fire Cannon and Shiv are done, so he's going to get that first Ricochet off really easily, and that can mean a lot. You can get like 800 after mitigation damage with a single auto attack with a build like this.
And then your Ricochet, if the first shot is a crit, will also crit its Ricochet.
And that's kind of what I'm counting on this one. You're going to do like, you know, 160-ish per champion on the backside if it crits. So we'll see what comes through. And they're going to get his recall stops.
Yeah, and I think what's happening with Arrow a lot of the time is when you're putting this team composition together for Phoenix1, you're thinking of this amazing death ball that runs around and Sivir's just free hitting and ricocheting everyone. But I think FlyQuest is kiting out so much that Arrow can't get in range. He can't get his hits off, which might persuade him to do the rapid fire cannon now instead of an Essence Reaver, which I think the Essence Reaver would be better in the extended team fights where you're cycling your Ricochet with cooldown reduction and more flat AD. But for this, I can see the rapid fire cannon being right.
Yeah, it just comes down to, how long is that fight going to be? Do you need the one-shot potential, or do you need an extended team fight going through? We'll see what happens. Xpecial's got his Redemption in here as well, so plenty of healing power if the team can stay alive. It's going to be a big surge. Redemption, of course, done for Lemonnation just the same. He's building towards his next item, which could be, I believe, Mikhail's Crucible is the last remaining Forbidden Idol item.
Yep, who needs boots? You got all that move speed from Janna?
Yeah, I think he never bought them, right?
Nope, doesn't need them.
Doesn't, absolutely doesn't.
I feel like Sona and Janna are actually two supports who get away without building boots just fine.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're pretty quick. Just need the mana and the move speed, which, of course, you have from your various actives or passives. 2,000 gold lead, up to Drake's. FlyQuest over to close one out and make this the 2-0 win to close out the regular season, to keep their team safe in that 8th place spot. As the minions fall down, nice chunk on elimination. That's the lightning at work. If they can heal back up, double ocean means pretty much they're going to be at full health quickly enough anyway.
Yeah. Baron up in 2 minutes. Doesn't seem like they're making too much headway into actually killing inhibitor turrets. You can see pretty tanky Kled there. Doesn't get harassed down much by Gnar.
Okay. Package picked up means P1 clearly want to fight with this, because you could have waited for it otherwise. It doesn't despawn. So P1 saying, yes, we should fight over the next minute right here. We'll see if they can do so. Elder Dragon not up, but Baron's not up for another minute. So, I mean, it's kind of strange that P1 would pick it up now, because it's like a 5-minute, I think, cooldown between packages, and it only lasts for 1 minute. So they have to use it before Baron spawns. Like, instead of using it around a Baron bait or around an objective trade, this feels early to me to pick this up on Corki.
I agree with you. I think you probably should have waited a little bit. Unless they don't want that fight to immediately go into objective. We're 37 minutes in. If one team wins a fight 4-0, they can just push to win. You don't need the Baron.
Yeah.
We'd like to think that's the thought for you, or he just saw thing on ground, picked up thing.
Yeah, just right-clicked. And I want to reiterate that P1 are not very far behind in gold. They are down 3 turrets, but the kill lead they've had means the game is only 2,000 and not even that apart. Like, this is certainly a winnable fight for Phoenix1. They've got some team fighters. Nice spike by Moon. Gives the Rift Herald over to the FlyQuest side, and just in time, because that'll keep the vision when Baron spawns. There'll be a 20-second overlap for those. Second locket coming in soon for Zig once he completes that. Already got one for for MikeYeung, of course, as he continues to build tanky. A little sad to see no Knight's Vow for either of these teams' tanks, considering how big the backliners are, with High and Arrow being able to belt out lots of damage, but coming in maybe next up for MikeYeung.
Yeah, I think the randoms on Zach can understand because of all the crit on the 80 carries, but I think it should be the next item for MikeYeung. Although Gargoyle Stoneplate
also very good.
So good later on in the game. I feel like it needs to be in every max item tank build.
Let's see what comes into this one. Clear away some vision, and it's really all about the wards right now. Again, P1 very good at pulling the trigger. They've got the engage tools, the Kled and the Sivir and the Taric, all great team fighters. FlyQuest have to navigate this well. Yeah,
but with that being said, the last few times they've tried the initiation, it hasn't worked well, so they're being very choosy about it now, wondering when they're going to have the window to go. Maybe just landing that one missile, gives them a little bit of poke to go in. It's just a matter of when they decide to, because I don't think FlyQuest will go for it unless I can one-shot someone with a shockwave before a fight.
Well,
other than that, they're just disengaging.
He's got the full pen build with the death cap on top, so certainly High can do a lot with the shockwave. The actual damage in the tooltip, I'm going to read that now. 680 doesn't seem that high, but keep in mind he's got more abilities that'll land right afterwards, so I mean, over 1,000 damage in combo. That's a QW. That's for you at half. And now he's fine. Okay, they're going to find MikeYeung. Look at that burst damage, though, and he's going to flash to get away from Let's Bounce. So flash for an ultimate.
Yeah, that's big. Not having a flash on the Maokai, that's one of their main ways of starting fights.
Yeah.
double cleanse on High and WildTurtle as well means even if he gets on one of them, they'll just go away. But
with
there we
Let's
go.
Bounce down, Shotgun only gets Xpecial. That's actually really nice for P1. Here comes the engage. They're going to have Xpecial. Her arrow bringing the invulnerability. Now the 5v5 team fight begins. The ult's going to drop off, and the burst comes through. Redemption to reset, as it's going to be a nice health bars here for FlyQuest. And try to go right back into this one as the shots keep going through, but MikeYeung cannot stay alive long enough, and here comes the attack, looking for Ryu, looking for Zig. He's running out of health. One more shot will do him in, and Balls gets the kill. 2 for 0 to FlyQuest. Oh, and that last shot comes in to make sure it does get finalized. 3-0 on this, and the chase on for Xpecial. He's not long for the world. 4 straight kills, and FlyQuest can run it right down mid to close out the series.
And no matter what Phoenix1 tries, they just can't kill FlyQuest. Everyone is staying alive. 4 down for Phoenix1 as another initiation goes awry, and they might try and push to end here.
I think they can. The respawn timer is 30 seconds long, and Ryu didn't come in to cut the wave down. He went for the recall instead. I think he should have tried for the opportunity, maybe. Inhibitor down.
Corki does have some amazing wave clear, but he's already
slowed.
low.
He's gonna flash wave, and the slows are still in. The one more shot will do him in. There's the ace, and the respawns might not be in time. The wave is here, and FlyQuest gonna make it 2-0. They're gonna drop Phoenix1 to the promotion tournament, and FlyQuest will carry their 30 championship points on, and they are going to hope that Counter Logic Gaming provides them a spot in the regional qualifier.
And they've done it before. High Balls and Lemonnation being towards the bottom of the standings and then making it to Worlds. It will be a long ways away, and they need some help, but there's still a chance.
There's still a chance. It's CLG beats Envy, because they would lose tiebreakers to either CLG or Team Dignitas in point standings because of current split standings. Tie breaks the tie points, but yes, they're going to hope for that one, and they're going to start prepping up for that one as the playoffs continue. Hugs from the Lamb family, the Lamely. That's one, why not? I don't know, that was lame. But a nice win to end the split. They will not be going to the promotion tournament. These guys will, though.
And they can keep practicing, and these guys need to play next week now in that promotion tournament. They lose their 50 championship points. Phoenix1, the 3rd place team in spring, the 9th place team in summer.
Smile
for FlyQuest. It's been a tough split.
It has been, and you know, I mean, to be fair, they also had fallen from 4th to being now in 8th, and it was, you know, rough for them to find solutions. The people thought maybe the inclusion of WildTurtle will help them out. Hasn't quite done that yet. Smiles from more fans here in the audience and family members alike, as they will head their way to the backstage, and they'll hope that we see them in about a month's time in that regional qualifier. That's going to be the prayer for them, and that's the end of the regular season for these teams. In fact, this marks the end of the regular season for the North American LCS overall. The other streams done with their games also, so it's been a very fun 9 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it goes by so fast every single time because we play League of Legends what feels like year-round, but there's 2 months and a week that we play in a regular season. Then we have the promotion tournament, and then we have 3 weeks of playoffs. So I still feel like we're 2/3 of the way through the season or the split, but for a lot of these teams, that's the last game they're going to end up playing, right? Echo Fox,
done.
They were 7th, not in playoffs, not in promotion tournament. They get to try and retool as far as their organization is concerned. So it's been a good split for sure. And even just focusing on the teams we just saw, right? FlyQuest, a lot of adversity coming in. These are guys that are used to dominating, right? Everyone counted them out in spring split. They came on strong. They finished 4th. And then to do the roster change, all tech for WildTurtle, and struggle so mightily, it has to feel good after all that adversity to still have a chance at going further.
Yeah, absolutely the case here in this one. And again, they'll be CLG's biggest fans. To recap the point again, 30 championship points. The lowest Team Dignitas and CLG can do is 30, but because they did better this split, they would own the head-to-head tiebreak for who makes the regional qualifier, so CLG or Dig would just take their spot anyway. It's Envy who came in with 0 points coming in. If they lose in quarters, they only have 20, and FlyQuest would take that last spot in the regional qualifier. So that's the hope. They're hoping Envy lose the BO5 in the quarterfinal, that Envy-CLG match, and that's what it's going to come down to for FlyQuest if they're to play any more matches here for North America. Now, for a first-hand account on that series, let's hear from Avali and FlyQuest mid laner.
Yeah, I found it earlier.
Thanks, guys. Great cast on the day. I am here with High, a 2-0 victory to close out a 2-0 weekend on the week where you guys need it the most. To your team, you guys avoid the promotion tournament and keep your championship points. But what does the victory mean to you?
Well, we avoided relegation. I really didn't want to be in that. That tournament sucks. Like previous splits, it sucked a lot more because you get kicked out of the LCS. And now with the franchise, then you kind of lose like 5 million, 3 million, something like that. That's kind of not ideal. So, meant a lot.
It's a lot of money. So emotions were running high. I think you have family in the audience. Was any of that affecting you and affecting your play?
Well, my dad came to come watch. I don't think I've ever lost when he's been here, I think he was here for the gauntlet run and everything as well. So maybe he should just come to every game or something, you know? Because, I don't know, I win when he's here, so.
Is that also true for Moon and Lemon's parents? Because when they came, I think they won too.
Yeah, I think that's true. Maybe we should just bring parents all the time.
Parents are OP. Well, I want to ask, this is your first year at FlyQuest. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with FlyQuest and your hopes for the future?
Well, we took 4th surprisingly last split, which was I was pretty happy about that. I wanted to place higher, and this split we're at 7th right now, I think. And if we can get into the gauntlet, we'll see how that goes. But I would say this year we took a lot to learn about how to do things again, and I'm looking forward to next year, and hopefully we're still in it.
Hope you're there too. Now, looking forward into the near future, you guys do have a chance to make it into the regional qualifiers. Are we going to see another miracle run?
Well, I'd prefer not to start 0-2. It's not really that fun. I would rather just win them all like 3-0 or something. But if we get into the gauntlet, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, here's rooting for you, and hope that your parents come, all of the FlyQuest parents come to wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and shoot it over to our analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. FlyQuest gets the 2-0 victory over Phoenix1. They've done what they needed to do in order to position themselves for their best opportunity at the regional qualifier. Of course, it was mentioned by Phreak that they are reliant on Envy losing their quarterfinal, so it is out of their hands. But they did what they needed to do here in the final week to position themselves to snag that last spot. And then, of course, it would just be the repeat narrative of can High lead a team through the entirety of the gauntlet to make it to Worlds.
That would be the craziest storyline. I mean, because statistically, I think most of us are expecting it's more probable that Envy loses.
Actually, yeah.
So, I mean, the idea that they're going to make it into the gauntlet's not that crazy. The crazy part is being able to sweep through it.
Exactly. That would be a tall order for them. Let's first break down this series, though, figure out how they got the 2-0 victory out of Phoenix1. When we look at Champion Select, this time around, we see, of course, the power picks of Maokai and Zach being traded, so it's nice to see those not end up on the same team. But again, as we move towards the Janna versus the Taric, I'm loving the diversity in the support champions across all of the teams.
I think it's one of those situations where you kind of have to pick it based off what you're playing against, most likely. I think this was a great game for the Janna pick. I think you heard Jatt going off about it, how much it helps disengage this really obvious death ball comp that, you know, Phoenix1 had put together, where Kled's going to ult, you know, Sivir's going to ult, everyone just ult and run, and eventually you'll catch somebody with some CC, and then you kill them. And I think they did a great job of being able to avoid one of those CCs where someone's out of position.
Now, that said, Phoenix1 did have a solid game plan. It was very clear early on that they wanted to put focus into that top lane, get the Kled pick rolling. So they send the Maokai up there twice in a row, successfully gank balls, and get their Kled an advantage. But it all turns around with a team fight skirmish in the bot lane, a botch dive from Phoenix1. Nets FlyQuest 3 kills for 2, all of which will go to balls here and put him right back into the game.
And that's really the important thing from this, because when you watch this play, you can see it's not super well played. WildTurtle runs all the way up here and kind of ends up splitting the fight in a really weird way that I'm not even sure was good. Because during that time, he could have been potentially protected by the Janna or something. He has his own team coming in. Either way, Balls eventually gets into this fight. He starts auto-attacking these members down. It ends up in a situation where he might
flash from Zig.
Fail flash. Might have been able to get an auto over the wall.
Fail flash from Balls.
Fail flash, and then Zig gets too close to the wall, and Balls...
The most hilarious ultimate ever.
Yeah, it gets a double kill, though. I believe it was a triple by the end of that.
Yeah, another one comes through.
Yeah, so either way, it was a very scrappy fight, but it was important in game circumstance, because with those kills going over the Gnar, he's back online. He starts split pushing pretty heavily, and P1's macro was just not up to level. There was a point where Kled had teleport but was down with his team contesting the dragon. He runs top, and then FlyQuest get the dragon after they had already lost a turn on the top side. So that was huge for FlyQuest being able to get back into the game.
That to me is what was the clear biggest difference between these two squads, was that in a more even game setup, right? That basically brought the gold back to a more even state. FlyQuest had a better understanding of how to apply pressure to the map and contest those objectives, put Phoenix1 into, you know, bad positions in terms of making decisions, right? Lose-lose situations and whatnot. And of course, it all culminated in a big fight at 39 minutes. FlyQuest turning it in the mid lane 4-0. And this is kind of what you're talking about, the attempted engage from Phoenix1 being repelled by FlyQuest.
Yeah, and you see they blow so many cooldowns trying to get involved there, and Janna, with her passive, with the coin passive, able to pull everyone towards her a little bit better when they're trying to kite out of that, then has her ult to push people off of her team, and eventually they're able to turn. They're a little bit ahead in goal at this point, so as long as they're able to survive through the Taric ult, they'll eventually start being able to melt the other front line down faster. They did a good enough job kiting out to make sure that was an option. Arrow had the ult on him, so you saw him run pretty far forward before having to flash back out, but overall, just a great team fight out of FlyQuest. Good knowledge of how to play these team fights out and not looking for a counter engage. It's purely disengage.
Great team fight out of FlyQuest, and more specifically, great team fighting out of Lemonnation. We highlighted the importance of that Janna pick for the style that they needed to play in terms of repelling the P1 aggression. Lemonnation picking up player of the game for his performance on that Janna because he was the linchpin to their success.
I think that's the big thing because I think you can point to the Gnar and the overall game impact that the Gnar pick had, but you look at that skirmish in the bot lane, it wasn't like it was super well played by balls, and a lot of the time, some of those situations were not mechanically the best, whereas on the flip side, Lemonnation not only played a very important champion for the comp, he also played it well and was always in the right place at the right time.
Now, FlyQuest, they close their season at 6-12, and as we've already mentioned, they do position themselves for a chance at the regional qualifier. But we do have to remember that this is the team that finished 4th in our spring split, and after making that, single trade in terms of ADCs, they do fall down the standings, so probably not the happiest of conclusions for them in terms of a season. But I want to ask you, what is your opinion of this FlyQuest squad, and what keeps them from being, say, a top 6 playoff team right now?
I think it's a combination of two things. One, I think they kind of overachieved pretty hard in the spring split. Just they were absolutely destroying people. At the start of the split, people figured them out. They slumped very heavily to the point where they're back to a 500 record. And then you bring it to Summer, let's say a 500 record into Summer split. Everyone got way better. Envy, no longer the 9th, 10th place team and fighting for promos 1 game away from getting relegated. They're now a playoff team. Immortals, no longer the 7th place team, now a playoff team. They're almost #1 this split. So I think the overall skill of the league shot up, and FlyQuest probably remained mostly the same, even though I think, WildTurtle might have been a good fit for the team. The whole team as a just didn't level up with the league.
Stagnating in skill meant dropping in the standings because others surpassed them. Now, as we close out the regular split, let's go ahead and take a look at who stood out individually throughout our final week of play. High, Doublelift, Keen, Flame, and Bjergsen all picked up 2 player of the games, which played directly into our split-wide standings, where Bjergsen has come out on top with 12 Player of the Game awards, 4 more than any player behind him. Of course, you see those 4 guys there all tied at 8 Player of the Games each. That's crazy to me. I mean, Bjergsen, it's not surprising that Bjergsen's the guy who did it, but just a 4-game Player of the Game separation between our leader and the next closest is pretty nuts.
It's pretty nuts, and then the other thing that's nuts is that each team has representation in that 4-way tie after. You have a C9 player, a CLG player, an IMT player, and a Dignitas player. It's very surprising to see that, and kind of hints to what you're saying earlier in the day, where this is a very close playoff race.
So we'll have to track each of those 5 individuals as they move through playoffs, see if they can carry their teams to respective victories. Now that it's set in stone, though, let's pull up the standings. Once again, TSM claimed 1st at the end of the regular split, knocking Immortals into 2nd, just above CLG at 3rd. And if we pull up the playoff bracket, we see our first matches pit Cloud9 versus Team Dignitas and CounterLogic Gaming versus Team Envy. But not before, of course, we host the promotion tournament next week. We return on Friday, where Phoenix1 face Goldcoin United on NA LCS 1, with Team Liquid versus E United on NA LCS 2. You also saw there, of course, the buys remaining for Immortals and TSM means they get 1 extra week to scout out their opponents and hit that, hit the rift in terms of practice, gearing up for those semifinals.
That's a huge thing because it will be a new patch that they'll end up playing on, and it's going to give them the opportunity to not only scout what the enemy team is playing, but just see what the overall meta is developing into and give you that little bit of extra time to figure it out.
We saw the inklings of it today, those mini metas and how they do affect these big series. And of course, when you move to the best of 5s, where it's elimination matches, it comes into play even more. What is the other team value versus what is just OP in the meta itself?
And the big thing is, of course, you don't know right now, so you can't really start planning everything out the way you would probably want to. It's going to be a really tough just thing for all of them to do because all the top teams play pretty different from each other. We're hinting at how, some teams super prioritize Corki, some love Talia, some love Cassio. It's a very diverse meta right now.
I'm getting excited already just talking about it. Now, throughout the weekend, we've been keeping a close eye on Twitter to see which plays impressed you all at home, and we've collected some to show to you now. Brought to you by our friends over at Acer. First up, NA Optimus comments on one of our import talents, Flame, saying, why you got to do Seraph like that? Check out this outplay.
Seraph.
Seraph has ulti.
Transforming. He's got the Mega Gnar. Can he find what he wants? He's going to win
miss.
with the Cataclysm out of Flame to buy a few more seconds. The knock up is in, and Flame with the sickest of outplays gets the kill.
I move.
3, 2, 1, have W, have W.
Okay, I'm
You can
almost
ulti
here.
now, Flame? Oh, nice. Holy shit. Good job.
Nice.
Can you root? Can you root? It's a good play when your own team is like, oh my god, dude,
Right,
what are
they
you doing?
expected him to die there.
Yeah,
Nick Smithy 100% expected him to die. It was insult to injury, too, when he flag and drags back through them to get the kill. Oh, my goodness, that's nuts. Next up, Captain Casey calls out one of the weekend's great escapes. How did Nick Smithy survive that? What the hell? Let's see the fancy footwork.
Well played. He's running. All right, he's fine.
Didn't get it.
Wait, no, he's a 1v3. Here comes Acadian.
Oh, Froggen will be the one.
Froggen, here's the TP to save him. Can they save Private Xpecial? They're hoping to make it happen. The flash, the Cataclysm to get away, and he's got a shield if they want it. There's the body slam. The attacks are in. One more, and he's not going to get him. The damage isn't there. One more auto would have triggered the keystone and gotten the kill, but it wasn't to be had. Out he goes.
Oh my goodness. Smithy brushes the dirt off his shoulders. Clean escape. He's wearing the Fnatic jersey, so it just came naturally to him. Able to get out there. That was pretty entertaining.
So you said it's too soon to make any assumptions about the meta. I'll tell you one thing I just learned. You do not give Immortals Jarvan, because two players on that team clearly have a mastery and the ability to outplay entire teams alone.
Breaking ankles all over the Rift right there. Both of them, Flame and Smithy, having great performances.
Oh, so fun to watch. One more. Finally, Shadow Wolf recognizes the TSM 80 carry double lift, puts the dancing shoes on the Spear of Vengeance as he flips P1's team fight on them in Game 2 of TSM versus Phoenix1.
Biofrost gets dropped immediately. Cosmic Radiance goes off on the other side, but it didn't happen soon enough. That's the timing that can be very tricky. Now they're actually going after the tankiest person. Haunter loses some of his stacks. A double kill for Ryu. And it looks like P1 is turning the heat up. Triple kill for Ryu on the Corki. Finally goes down as he is shut down. And double lift coming up with a triple.
I'm still done.
Just look at Mao.
On the front line.
Corki's on.
I'm dead.
I jump in, I'm
Fight this.
dead. Draven? I got a stun on Draven.
I'm dead. We still win.
It's only you, Peter. Oh. Woo!
You got that.
Oh my.
I just love this Sven, where it's like, it's up to you now, Peter. It's like one of those dramatic movie moments where you slow it down, you get like a reel.
You also hear the little, you know, like from the teammates who would think he's about to go down and then realize he's going to live and carry through. I love listening to that. It's the most raw and real moments we have here in the NA LCS. That's going to do it for us, though, here in Week 9 of the North American LCS. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. And stay tuned for NA LCS Client, where myself, Jatt, and Zyrene will recap our final week going into playoffs and more. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for the promotion tournament. Good night.
Hello, everyone.